4 months to go until Zimbabweans living in South Africa under the Zimbabwe Exemption Permits or ZEP dispensation will be deemed illegal immigrants if they do not go back home. This comes after the South African government decided to discontinue these permits held by about 200,000 Zimbabweans. To discuss what options people have when they head home in terms of starting their lives, we're joined by advocate Simba Chitando, a representative of ZEP holders. Thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. So what goods are subject to import duties in Zimbabwe in terms of what people can take back home?
Afternoon. Thank you for having me. The government has set out a list of goods that the Zimbabweans can take back to Zimbabwe. That has been sent out by Government Gazette and has been made available. That's quite an extensive list. In some cases, where you're a returning resident, you can return with your vehicle without paying any duty. That is just for one vehicle. So it's quite a lot of requirements and guidelines in that respect. It's a very exhaustive list, which I obviously cannot provide in a lot of detail right now, but the government has set out what people can take back.
We understand there's no limit to personal property such as furniture and household goods.
Yeah, there is no limit to personal property that people have bought, that they own, movable property that they own. In regards to obviously the vehicle, you can take back one vehicle, from what I understand, as returning resident. Yes, so that has been set up by the government.
Is there a policy or a grant that allows people to maybe start their own businesses when they return back home in order to not depend on the state, but to actually try and rebuild their lives?
That's a good question. We're at the moment working on various organizations are working on interacting with the government of Zimbabwe to expedite land and also various business licenses. There's a large number of Zimbabweans in South Africa who have been on the ZEP, and others who are not on the ZEP who might also return home, and they have various skills that they've acquired, skills in the IT industry, skills in other service provisions, businesses. And they would like the licenses, and will be interacting with the government to try to secure licenses for as many various professions that will be returning to Zimbabwe.
Sure. And of course, this might take a psychological toll on people as well. Just in terms of the people that you are representing, what is it that they're telling you in terms of some help that they may need psychologically to reintegrate back into society?
That's a good question. The decision by the South African cabinet has impacted on Zimbabweans psychologically. The children have to go to a school system that they don't know. They have come through the school system of South Africa. That's what they know, and they would have to be reintegrated into the Zimbabwean educational system, which is another thing that we'll be engaging the government with, and many of these ZEP holders associations. There's about 3 that have been interacting with, have interacted with the ambassador, and they are interacting with the Zimbabwean government. The psychological impact is quite significant. We're talking about people who have given up more than 10, 15 years of their productive lives and having to relocate abruptly. In that regard, again, it is work in progress. Financial assistance is also work in progress. So we're talking about a moving target. I think this is a very dynamic situation, and we're working on it. We're working frantically on it.
Do you have a progress report, for lack of a better word, in terms of those that you represent, some who have success stories and some who have a way to go, as you say?
Okay, the progress report is, insofar as the court case. The court case to challenge and set aside that decision by the South African government to begin with will be heard on the 5th, 6th, and the 7th of October. That's going ahead. and we hopefully will succeed in that court case. The second issue of returning back to Zimbabwe, we are in the process of working with the government back at home to secure places for work, setting up businesses and business licenses for the various sectors that ZEP holders and many other Zimbabweans in South Africa where they are currently occupied. That is ongoing. It is, it's not something it's not an event. It is something that we are working together, and very soon, hopefully, we'll have some tangible report back, but we are working on it.
Advocate Simba Chitando, a representative of ZEP holders. Thank you.